The Battle of Actium, a pivotal naval confrontation that occurred in 31 BCE, is often recognized as a defining moment in ancient history where Octavian, who later became Augustus, decisively defeated the combined forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra VII. This battle marked the culmination of a protracted power struggle following the assassination of Julius Caesar, shaping the future of the Roman world. The significance of the Battle of Actium lies in its profound impact on the Roman political landscape. Octavian's victory not only secured his position as Rome's leading figure, but also laid the groundwork for the establishment of the Roman Empire. By overcoming Antony and Cleopatra, Octavian dismantled the last significant challenge to his authority, thereby ensuring a shift from the Roman Republic, characterized by senatorial governance, to the autocratic rule of the Roman Empire. This transformation ushered in an era of relative peace and stability known as the Pax Romana, which lasted for over 2 centuries. A real-world illustration of the Battle of Actium's influence can be seen in the way subsequent military engagements were conducted. Octavian's strategic use of naval power set a precedent for emphasizing naval superiority, which later influenced Roman military tactics and expansion, particularly in the Mediterranean region. Another example is how Actium impacted cultural narratives. The defeat of Cleopatra marked the end of the Hellenistic period and the absorption of Egypt into the Roman Empire, which had profound cultural and economic impacts on both Rome and the ancient world. Among contemporary opinions, historians often view Octavian's actions as both pivotal in stabilizing Rome and raising ethical questions regarding the consolidation of power. While some scholars applaud Octavian's political acumen and the subsequent era of peace, others criticize the means by which he achieved it, including deliberate propaganda and ruthless elimination of opposition. The Battle of Actium is not without its controversies. Some argue that the romanticized portrayal of Antony and Cleopatra's relationship and tragic end tends to overshadow the political motivations behind the conflict. Furthermore, there's an ongoing debate about the extent to which Cleopatra's role and agency were marginalized in historical recountings, often seen through the lens of Roman victors. In connection with the broader narrative of the Battle of Actium, this crucial event interlinks with themes of power consolidation, the transition of governmental systems, and the role of personal ambition in shaping world history. It also provides insight into how history is recorded, interpreted, and remembered, highlighting the complexities of human aspiration and the intricacies of political maneuvering. The Battle of Actium in 31 BCE marked a pivotal moment in ancient history, where Octavian, later Augustus, decisively defeated Mark Antony and Cleopatra. This battle took place off the coast of Greece and was primarily a naval engagement. It is characterized by Octavian's strategic prowess and the internal discord within Antony's ranks, partly influenced by Cleopatra's presence and controversial role in Roman politics. This victory not only eliminated Octavian's main rivals, but also solidified his path to becoming the first Roman emperor, effectively ending the Roman Republic and ushering in the Roman Empire. The importance of this battle cannot be understated. It represented the transition from a republic governed by senators and generals to an imperial system with a single ruler. This shift had profound implications for Roman governance and the structure of power, which influenced empires throughout history. By consolidating power, Octavian set a precedent for future leaders focusing on centralized authority. Examples of the battle's significance include how it demonstrated the effectiveness of shrewd political and military alliances. Octavian had the backing of powerful Roman figures and a loyal, well-structured navy led by his trusted general Agrippa. Another example is the cultural implications. This victory cemented Rome's dominance in the Mediterranean, impacting trade and cultural exchanges for centuries. Support for Octavian's actions often highlights the stability that followed his reign. After years of civil war, Octavian's victory brought peace, known as the Pax Romana, allowing for economic and cultural growth. Critics, however, argue that the fall of the Republic marked the end of Roman democratic ideals, concentrating power in the hands of one individual. Challenges and controversies surrounding the battle include the vilification of Cleopatra and Antony, particularly in Roman propaganda, which painted them as traitors and Oriental despots. Cleopatra's political influence on Antony is often scrutinized, with some historians arguing that her role has been exaggerated to justify Octavian's actions and fabricate an image of a liberated Rome defeating an exotic outsider threat. This battle connects deeply with broader themes of power, propaganda, and transformation. It exemplifies how military success can dramatically shift political landscapes. Furthermore, it indicates how personal relationships and politics intersected, with Octavian's win at Actium reflecting not just military might, but strategic diplomacy and public sentiment manipulation, factors that continue to influence political strategy today. The historical background and key players involved in the Battle of Actium are crucial for understanding the significance of this pivotal moment in Roman history. The Battle of Actium, fought on September 2nd to 31 BCE, marked the decisive confrontation of the final war of the Roman Republic. This naval battle saw Octavian, the future Emperor Augustus, defeat the combined forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra VII of Egypt. This victory ultimately led to Octavian consolidating power and transitioning Rome from a republic to an empire. Historically, this battle underscored the decline of the Roman Republic and the ascendancy of a new imperial era. Octavian, known for his political acumen and strategic alliances, skillfully capitalized on Roman fears of Cleopatra's influence to paint Antony as a betrayer of Rome. Cleopatra, portrayed by Octavian's propagandists as a foreign threat, played into the narrative that energized Roman nationalism and support for Octavian's cause. This battle was significant because it ended the political rivalry between Octavian and Antony, eliminating one of the last impediments to Octavian's sole rule over Rome. Two pivotal examples underline this event's impact. First, Octavian's victory at Actium allowed him to consolidate power and implement reforms that laid the foundation for the Roman Empire. His rule initiated the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace across the empire that lasted for over 2 centuries. Second, the downfall of Antony and Cleopatra marked the end of the Hellenistic period, as the rich territories of Egypt formally became a province of Rome. Opinions about the outcome often reflect admiration for Octavian's leadership and strategic brilliance. His ability to navigate complex political landscapes and secure loyalty among Rome's elite cemented his reputation as a shrewd leader. However, his victory also sparked controversy. Critics argue that Octavian's rise marked the erosion of republican ideals, fundamentally altering the governance structure established by the Roman Republic. Some historians caution against glorifying his methods, highlighting how his consolidation of power involved ruthless purges and manipulations. This historic battle, therefore, is not only a military triumph, but a catalyst that influenced Rome's political transformations. It manifests the tension between republicanism and autocracy, a theme resonant in both ancient and modern discussions about power dynamics. The interplay between key players, societal narratives, and political ambitions at Actium echoes far beyond its immediate aftermath, shaping the trajectory of Western history. The Battle of Actium, a pivotal naval engagement that occurred in 31 BCE, marked the decisive confrontation in the power struggle between Octavian and the forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. This battle essentially defined the fate of the Roman Republic, transitioning it towards the Roman Empire under Octavian, later known as Augustus. Actium's importance is immense, as it effectively ended the civil war within Rome, consolidating Octavian's power and paving the way for him to become the first Roman emperor. This transition marked the end of the Roman Republic's centuries-old system of checks and balances, leading to a more autocratic form of governance which shaped Roman, and consequently, European history for centuries to come. A vivid illustration of Actium's impact can be seen in Octavian's subsequent actions. Following his victory, Octavian systematically dismantled Antony's support base, incorporating Egypt into the Roman Empire, a move that significantly increased Rome's wealth and strategic influence. Another real-world example is the transformation of Rome's political and cultural institutions. Augustus initiated reforms that stabilized and enriched Rome, leading to the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and prosperity across the empire that lasted approximately 200 years. Historical opinion often views the Battle of Actium as a turning point that underscored the superiority of centralized power as a solution to the Republic's recurring internal conflicts. Many historians attribute much of Augustus's success to his ability to learn from the Republic's weaknesses and adeptly forge a new, more stable governance system. Nevertheless, Actium's ramifications sparked controversy among those nostalgic for the Republic's ideals. Critics lamented the loss of senatorial power and autonomy, viewing Augustus's reign as the beginning of Rome's moral decline and the erosion of public liberties. The Battle of Actium is interconnected with other historical transformations, including the broader shift from regional control within Italy to a vast multicultural empire. This transition necessitated new forms of governance and integration policy, influencing subsequent empires' strategies throughout history. In summary, the Battle of Actium not only signaled the end of a civil war, but also catalyzed Rome's transformation into an imperial entity. It serves as a powerful historical lesson on the dynamics of power, governance, and the fine line between maintaining order and suppressing freedom, all of which resonate deeply in the study of political history and theory.